Um, yeah, I really am trying to let my lace front go ahead and lay on down while I do these errands and get everything else ready for another organization that I am helping. It's part of um one of the consulting businesses that I do, but it's helping with other businesses grow their business. So yeah, so before I get to go and do that, and then after that I gotta do homework, I was like, you know what, I need to make a part 2 of vibes because I could not do that this morning when I was walking Luna. um I just did not get a chance to do that, and so um I want to share that with y'all. You have to if you guys haven't seen the other side, the video before it went off because my phone died, definitely look at that, but and then come back to here. With vibes, you have to look at people's intentions. You have to look at how well a person is doing. Not only that, you have to look at the mental condition of the person, the average, the baseline of someone's mental capacity. Okay, are they usually, content? Do they handle situations well? Usually, you want to look at those patterns to know what you can and cannot share, what you can do and what you cannot do around them. Because when you know what they can't tolerate, you basically are cutting off, extra distractions, y'all. I got this thing so close to me, so whatever. Take this off. You're basically just calculating. You're calculating what really their moves. Not all of them, but you're calculating um your steps. And I know people were like, that's like walking on eggshells. Not really. Not really. It's not walking on eggshells because they haven't. If you do this at the beginning of relationships, then you won't ever have to walk on eggshells. You will not have to walk on eggshells because you see things for what they are at the beginning. At the beginning. And so when you take that into account and you follow this and you learn about them, and that's just like you learning about somebody else. There's a lot of people who are doing this to you. You just are not understanding that. And so when you see those triggers when um they're getting upset when other people are talking good about themselves. They got to bring themselves in the picture all the time. Sometimes people do have relatable circumstances that can help them. Sometimes God allows us to be around people who have already went through that path to help them. So yeah, you will hear a lot of those stories like, oh yeah, well I did this, I can help you with this. But if it goes pointing back to them, that's kind of a one of the signs to look for. Also look and see if how they act when they have adversity or hardships that come in their life. See how they move and how they function, because that is going to tell you, because we know we live in a real life, in a real world. That's going to tell you how someone's character really is. I even saw this with myself, and I had to take a applause to myself because I'm like, man, I really think sometimes that I'm really bad, and there's some places in my walk and even my character is very flawed, just like everybody else's. But one thing I can say about myself is that when things get down, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I am determined always to get back up, and not to get back up and just succeed. I have to conquer it. I have to be on top of it. So I do whatever it takes. I learn whatever it takes. I go through the process. If I have to connect with someone, that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. I do whatever, basically whatever it takes. Y'all feel like I need to go roll this window down though. But yeah, I do whatever it takes to literally get myself in alignment to be on top. I don't believe that we go through things different. But see, in another person's character, do they flake out? Do they fall? And when they fall, How do they get back up? Do they drag other people down to get themselves back up? Do they how do they deal with rejection? How do they deal with um when people are complimenting you? I had this happen recently. How do they handle when people are complimenting you and not complimenting them? Or how do they react when um yeah, people are giving, paying more attention to somebody else than them? Because let me tell you, I don't give a care if you're the baddest person in the room. There's gonna be someone who's gonna try to ignore you, try to downplay your accomplishments. See how this person reacts. Okay, you want to see how they react towards negativity. How do they tolerate rejection? That's I don't know, people. That's I think that's one of the biggest things that people need to talk about in this lifetime, during this era. A lot of people are afraid of rejection. So then when they get rejected, they gotta throw the baby out with the bathwater. They gotta throw everybody else is horrible. Everybody else is this. When in reality, it could be just one person just rejecting you, and that's it. Or one group of people rejecting you, and you can go somewhere else. Or it might not even be, it might be a rejection on a personal level, meaning that you need self-development or growth, because there are levels to certain things. You have to go through a process. I don't understand how people will say, oh, I want to be this, and feel like they arrived. Think about you being a dentist. Can you just come out of high school and say you want to be a dentist and become a dentist? No, you have to go through the work. I'm I'm in school right now going, I have to go so much, of course I went to college, but I still have to go if I'm going to be a psychologist. So you have to think about those things, it's not going to happen overnight. And that might be that rejection that you're feeling. It might be a rejection, but it might be a rejection of personal growth, And so you want to see that. You want to see how they react. You want to see how they move and navigate, because that's going to show you the character of a person, so that you won't have to go through situations that are like that. You'll see this stuff right off the bat. Um, Look how people treat you when they think that you're one way and you're something else. Okay? I used to hang around this girl who I was real cool with, but she had another friend, and this is how it happened. So this girl, I'm still cool with her, but she's white, right? And this doesn't have to do with it doesn't necessarily have to do with race, but this particular situation is, and I want y'all to look at it, because this happens a lot, and this is not just black, white, orange, purple. It happens all the time. Okay, so here it goes. So we're sitting there and we're having a good time. We're just sitting there talking. We're on, kickback on the porch. Um, y'all know I don't really like Kool-Aid, but she loves Kool-Aid. I can't stand Kool-Aid, okay? I like bitter stuff, but I was sitting there. I didn't even have a Dr. Pepper, matter of fact. I think I had some water, some lemon water or something. So we're just goofing off, listening to some music, listen to some 90s music, bumping, having a good time. And she's like, oh yeah, my friend from, middle school is coming, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, okay, I'm cool to be around people. I like meeting new people. I like my isolation time, but I love meeting new people, because that's how you grow. That's how you learn new things. I like to be very adventurous and just learn things and learn about people. I love people. So the friend gets there, and she's like, she had told her my name and everything. Oh, this is Belle, blah, 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 blah. Telling her, oh, she's so great. When she got there, she looked at me and she was like, oh, yeah, well, I didn't know she was, I didn't know she was black. Like, okay. So I just let that pass. I'm like, okay, here we go. Mind you, this same person, who is her friend, the same person is married to a black man. Kid you not. Can't make this up. Okay. And so we're sitting there talking, and I don't even know how the topic of race and the topic of being stable came even into play, because we was listening to music. We was listening to Aaliyah, listening to some 90s, y'all. Missy Elliott, boom, boom, boom. NSYNC, Backstreet Boys. We was just really having a good time. And she goes off and she says, that's why, she was talking about her relationship. That's why, most people, most men want to date, outside. Most black men want to date outside their race. Blah blah this, blah blah that. And me and my friend are looking like, what does this have to do with anything? We're looking like, first of all, we don't care because, both of them have, significant others that are black. They white, but they black. And I've dated white men. I've dated different nationalities, so it didn't bother me. I feel like love is love, period, right? Oh, so she's going on and she's like, also that they're not financially stable. Most black women, I've never met a black woman who's ever gotten, past, high school diploma and actually is doing better for herself and blah blah this. And I'm sitting here like, wait a minute. First of all, you went into a whole facility. We just went, like, we were sitting outside, but she has to go through, like, our building is not, well, my building is nothing but professionals. Even though they be kicking back, it's nothing but professionals in this building, y'all. When I say nothing but professionals, nothing but professionals. In the city that I live in, I call it a town. A lot of people call it a town because it's a mix between a city and a town. It's like a lot of farm life and a lot of city life. So if you want, it's not that much city life, but if you want the city life, you have to be where I'm at. You have to be, because there's no other place in our city that has that city life experience. So a lot of the people, if they move from California, or they moved from New York, Pennsylvania, Jersey, if they wanted that, still that life and still, be okay, they live in this area. So we're looking like, why does that even matter? And she's just going about it. And she's like, name me one. So I literally just laughed. So my friend comes out and she says, well, you kind of looking at one. Like, she's going to school for this. Like, she was like, oh, well, she probably had help. She, and talk about all the other people that didn't look like me that would had to be helping me. And I'm sitting here like, dang, like, that's kind of messed up. And I'm like, okay, that's not really the case, because I lived in a predominantly black area, y'all. When I say, like, yeah, I got family members in Haiti, but I, like, in the States, I lived in Gary, Indiana, y'all. If anybody else knows Gary, Indiana, that's what it is, And my great uncle still owns, to this day, radio stations, to this day, buildings, all that other stuff. Like, I don't, and they were, I've been around people who are like that. I had people, family members that were educators, that were, they moved, they kept it moving. Plumbers, y'all, let me tell y'all, I got a cousin right now who making bank being a plumber. Y'all need to listen. Listen, that's a job that you will never, ever, ever, ever go out of business. Never, never, never. Y'all so sweet. But anyhow, that was a prime example, and we were just looking at her like, wow. After that, I was just like, I started laughing, but it gave a lot of light, shedded a lot of light to my friend at the time, because she was like, dang, like, I'm so sorry you had to go through this. Like, I would have just never imagined, you know and she's one of those, like, free-spirited people, kind of like me myself, so we don't really look at stuff too but it made me analyze that. So you have to look at people at their perspective, how they're looking at their perspective with you, because even though you're not in charge of how they're treating you, you are in charge of how you react and how you maneuver and how you move around these people. Because these people will see that they can't keep you down, right? Just like old girl who got stabbed, right? That was supposed to be her best friend. I'm sure that anger just didn't come out of nowhere. That did not come out of just nowhere, okay? She was holding that resentment for a long time. That stuff, people who do that stuff, they let that stuff build up, okay? And when you look at stuff like that, and like I said, you have to be aware of how they're reacting and how they react to you when you're up, when you're down, when you're doing good and they're doing bad, when they're doing bad and you're doing good. Look at that, okay? Look at how they treat you. Also, look at how it makes a difference, because it can save your life. You can see that jealousy from afar. Also, look at how they treat you. If you treat them nice, I just had somebody who was like this, and I was like, am I tripping? Like, no. um and some other people told me, like, no, you ain't tripping, bro. Okay, so Second example, y'all. I had went out with this girl that I was really cool with. Just started to bond with her family and everything, just like on a friendship level, not like, intimate or anything, but it's friendship level. So we go out because this person wanted to go out and it was their birthday. Okay, now usually I was like, okay, I was already tired, I really didn't want to go, but I had told her the day before, during the party, because we had already had she had a birthday party, then she had another, she wanted to go out the next day. And I was like, yeah, we can go out that next day, but Sunday I need time to recoup myself. I make sure that I have time for myself. I don't play those games no more. I'm getting older and I don't like to be around 12,000 people. Although I like people, I'm not going to go there for frivolous stuff. Like, that's how you end up getting in trouble. Okay? So going out to a whole bunch of bars and clubs, that's not my forte. I done had that experience already. It was okay for a minute, but it just was not for me. Okay? And so um yeah, we went out and I was like, I was sick that day. I was like, when I say sick, I had a horrible headache. I had just got finished having cramps, all this other stuff. So I was like, I really didn't want to go, but she still was adamant on going. That should have been signed already, but I was like, okay, I made a promise, even though I feel like I should just be laying in the bed and not moving. I'm gonna go. But I was like, I'm not gonna put on a lot of makeup. I didn't put on any makeup. Um, and I went out and I had a good time. Everybody was chilling. Everybody was having a good time. The people I was speaking to was cool. And one thing I noticed about her, now she never wears makeup, but she wore it this time. She was like, she really liked it, which was good. I was happy for her. One thing I noticed is that she was going out of her way to go and take 12,000 pictures of me and her, when I was like, oh, I ain't got no makeup on, I don't really want to be in there, I'll take a picture of you and everybody else, and some groups, pictures, but there's no need. So she would literally just try to go and sneak. Now, I know y'all like, well, she wanted a picture, it was her birthday. Listen, when we are together in other places, and I'm looking like right now, not even a full face beat, just some regular stuff, she will not want to do that. She will not. She'll be like, oh, you're doing too much. Even if I want to take a picture by myself, she'll be like, oh, you doing too much. I don't want to be taking your pictures all the time. I don't want to do this. And you be like, what? Like, I just asked you one time. But this time, this is what happened. And not only that, when one of the guys was talking to her, like, okay, your friend is cute too. She must be a natural. She must be a natural beauty because she ain't got no makeup on. And it's like, yeah, she kind of basic right now. And she was just like downplayed, but I'm this and she was literally downplaying me, talking about me like, oh yeah, she just really, very lazy. And I'm sitting here like, what? Like, is this for real? Like, this could be farther from the truth if you really want to analyze and look some stuff up. But that was already a signal for me to say, okay, I see how this is moving. Not only that, I remember when I was doing karaoke and I left my drink on the table. I told this person to watch my drink and watch my purse. When I came back, there was a woman sitting that she's right next to, sitting there with my purse in her hand, with my drink right in front of her. And I'm like, did you tell her I was sitting here? I literally had to go back for myself. Excuse me, I'm sitting here. And I almost got into a confrontation with her husband because he like, I don't see no seats there. And I'm like, well, literally, your wife is holding my wallet, my purse. My drink is right there. I just got finished singing karaoke. So, you know, so what you mean? So look at those things. And I literally asked her, like, did you tell them that? Why did you lead them with my purse? Because if this would have been me before, y'all, this would have been a whole fight. This would have been a whole fight, y'all. I would have fought that lady. I would have fought that guy. And then when I got finished, I would have fought her. But since I have grown and developed, I was just like, okay, I won't be going anywhere with this person. Look and see how they're putting you in danger. If they're putting you in dangerous situations, are they flipping on you? Are they flipping on you? Okay. That's gonna show you. That's gonna show you. Check out the vibes for that. Because some people are just around you. Some people are just around you just to brag that they're with you just for real clout. What they say, clout, for attention, because they do nothing. Everybody else knows they don't do anything, but they know you do something. So being around you gives them a lot of privileges and a lot of access to things. Okay, so be careful, be mindful, be careful, and be mindful of that. Vibes do really matter. It'll save your life. It'll save you from hardship. It'll save you from wasting money on people who don't care about you. And that's friends and family included. It'll save you, man. I've seen so much that I've saved during the years of going through this whole process with people who I thought, was real close to me. We grew up together, and oh, this is my, we almost grew up as sisters, but they treat you like a freaking ugly stepchild, and you still giving and giving and giving and giving and giving, and they treating you like crap. I've learned the difference when I pull back. And they learned the difference too. But I've saved so much money, and I've able to shift it and go into different places. That's why I said, look at these people and look at the vibes that they are giving you. Look at the vibes that they are giving you. They're telling you stuff every single time. Look at people treat you when you first come in, and do they treat you nicer? Treat you I look at people who treat me nicer than other people that just come in too. I look at all of that because sometimes people will treat you nice because they think they can get something off of you. You got to look at all those, look at all those plays, look at all those plays, because it makes a difference. It can be a difference from saving your life and making it to another day. Because especially if they done dogged you and made you look stupid and tried to tell everybody you this and you that, and they believed you and they believed them, and then you come back and you turn into something terrific, they got to eat their own words now. So either they got to go tiptoe, oh, I know you was always doing that, yeah, they got to flip and lie out of their tongue, out of their mouth, and everybody else gonna be looking at them like, no, you said, you might be like, you said, or they're gonna try to take you out. Plain and simple. So y'all remember that. I'm gonna get up off of here. Hopefully something I said or done will help you on your journey. Please stay tuned to Journey to Jerusalem, and y'all have a good day.